Excelente pregunta. Everybody has this phone. Can be connected everywhere in the world. You have geolocalization. People see when you place on Facebook, pop, everybody see, oh, you're in Canarias, you're in Madrid, because you can see on Facebook. And the people cannot understand how a huge aircraft with modern technology can disappear. The problem is, on this particular case, somebody switched off all the equipment. Same if you take your battery out of your phone is useless, will not give you a position. So in that particular case, it is quite obvious from what we know so far from the civil side, because the civil and the military side on this particular case. From the civil side, somebody turned off everything. So radio doesn't talk anymore, arrive at the border, which is a nice place to lose communication because you transfer to another country. So for 10 minutes, nobody will worry. I maybe was late in calling me, don't know exactly at what time it was told to contact the other one, but after 5-10 minutes, you start to get worries. So you can do a lot of things in those 10 minutes, and nobody will ever question because you're not calling and something like this, or you don't see it. And in that time, everybody switched, including the ADSB. So it's like taking the battery out of nobody's transmitting, you disappear from the civil scopes, from the displays. Therefore, they started to believe, okay, it might have burned, it might have, or just an electric failure could have been as well, and it will be landing somewhere. So they didn't really worry immediately because these things happens. That electric failure, or somebody makes a wrong input, a wrong turn of a button. Generally, 99% it is that. It's a wrong frequency being tuned, so it doesn't call because instead of having a frequency, which is for the general public, just numbers. 6 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can hear it badly and tune it badly, and then you cannot contact the other. So therefore, it took 10, 15 minutes. Nobody was really worried to have lost this aircraft because we're expecting to recover. Or if it was an electrical failure, it's going to be picked up by military radar, and we can track it where it is and make it to land. So therefore, nobody really at the first hours was really worried. They were starting to get extremely worried when it passes the time of no fuel. We know this aircraft had roughly 7 hours of fuel. If after 7, 8 hours you haven't heard about the aircraft, that was the case in Air France 447, the same, you start to really worry. It must be somewhere. Either it landed in an unknown airfield somewhere, or it crashed. There's no other possibilities. It cannot stay in the air. And 95% of the time an aircraft disappears, the wreckage is within 20 nautical miles of the last communication. This is statistics from when you lose at sea an aircraft, no point to look. And if you remember Air France 447, they believed the aircraft was further, but in fact the last communication they went back a couple of weeks later and they found it was there. In the case of, back to the Malaysian aircraft, because it was lost and the military didn't see anything, contrary to what you heard, they didn't see anything. They start to look at the tapes. You know that the radars are being taped. So they look at the tape, so you can remotely, like a video recording, you can look at it, and then they saw something from roughly the area. They assume that could be the Malaysian. The truck has never been identified as Malaysian, or can be. They just see something moving, they said it's around the area, it's moving, we don't know what it is, that could be the Malaysian. And based on that, they say that the aircraft turned back, but it's not 100% sure. Then that's what they were still looking at in the China Sea. Then in Marsat, which is a satellite company, they said we receive information from the engines. There is every hour, there is a ping going, giving the information on the engine if it's not too hot or whatever, or something like this. There it was just normal, but it sent. So they could prove that this aircraft flew another 6 hours after it disappeared. And from where this transmission was coming, roughly, they could make an arc around the satellite. Therefore, you see an arc. An arc is not what it flew, it's just the area from the satellite where it could be detected. And they don't know among that arc where it is. It can be here, there, there, there. They don't know. It's not a radar. It's just they heard something from that side. Therefore, they have the south arc and the north arc and the south arc. Somebody decided that it cannot be the north arc because There are too many countries, too many radars, it would have been seen. It must be the south. And now we are looking around the south, but we don't know at which speed he was flying. You know that altitude is changed a lot. I'm a pilot as well, so if you fly very low, you will have a ground speed of, let's say, 600 kilometers per hour. If you fly very high altitude, it will be 900 kilometers per hour. If you fly 6 hours, huge difference in where it's going to be, and that we don't know. So therefore, all this part is a bit. Back to ADS-B, ADS-C. This aircraft was equipped, but ADS-B, it is just a box making the parameters of the aircraft and sending them. If it is done via what we call VHF, the radio, it's free. In fact, free. You don't have to pay for it. If it is via satellite, and as soon as this radio gets a roughly 300 nautical miles or 500 kilometers range, the radio, the physical radio, if you go above that 500 kilometers, you have to go via satellite. And satellite, you have to pay. And many airlines don't want to pay. Cost again. So they said, we have ADS-B, but only in the area where it's free. The area which is not free, we don't have it. And this aircraft, Malaysia Airlines, had not equipped this aircraft, this long-range aircraft, with ADS-B satellite. They had ADS-C. ADS-C is by request. But on this particular case, it was switched off. So it makes no sense. So therefore, there is no way we can know where the aircraft is, because somebody voluntarily closed the things, plus the company decided not to have ADS-B satellite. So we don't know where the aircraft is. And basically, this is the situation. So all the rumors that you hear that it is, maybe there and whatever. And what complicates the thing, that is not, you have military getting involved now, because the area where it disappeared, it's a very strategic area with islands disputed between China, Philippines, Vietnam, they're saying like this. A lot of military is there. And it is inconceivable. Also India, by the way, they also have island, Nicobar Island there, with a very high military presence, north of Indonesia, with declaim and things like this. It is highly understandable for us, which are professionals, that nobody saw anything. Because everybody is watching there because of this movement. Japanese also, Japanese ships and whatever, everybody is there. So there's something fishing there, They should have seen something, so nobody knows. And what is more fishy for us, knowing how the technology works, is to see that suddenly a fishing boat from China, with a guy in a rubber boat and small things, is showing, we have something there. And a journalist and a camera is on the boat as well to photograph that. That sounds propaganda, especially from China. So this is okay. This is just a feeling, that something is wrong there. This is not. So either they know where it is, or they don't know and they want to show that they have technology that they can find it, and where the American cannot find. I don't know, but there is a bit of a manipulation of the media right there.